Okay, so I was really surprised that Greenleaf, it's already has the season finale next week, which kind of makes sense, but I'm thinking, dang, that was quick. It just freed up my schedule a little bit since all the TV's coming back within the next couple of weeks, so I'm not going to complain. Now, this episode was episode 15 of season 2, 2 by 2. The episode starts off with Sophia. She's dancing with Bishop, and her father can't come to the cotillion, so there's that. She's kind of bummed about that. So then she goes off and leaves, because we find out that Lady Mae's upset since Marisol's husband, he contracted, an illness, and I almost said mono, Jesus. He contracted an illness, and he didn't go to the hospital. I mean, he's in the hospital now, and it's a situation where Marisol won't be there. Who knows if she can do the tour. So now we're trying to figure out for Charity, how's this going to work for her? Because she was banking on that. Lady Mae saying, you know what? The devil's trying to take our girl away, but thankfully the Lord, things happen for a reason. Grace is trying to say, wait, why can't we pick up the slack and, help babysit and do stuff while Charity's out on tour and just make it easier for her? Bishop agrees. Lady Mae's over it because Lady Mae has this weird, I get it. Lady Mae doesn't want Charity to go and just run after some guy. That's how she's seeing this. That's why she's really upset. So we're at the church, and Miss Cross, Rochelle Cross, she's there. And I love how the receptionist was looking at this like, oh, so should I leave the door open or closed? Bishop says, oh, no, close it. Okay. Now, they have a conversation where Rochelle says that she wants to give more money. Bishop's looking at her like, why? It's all because, well, it's an elaborate plan of hers, and she feels like maybe it could help her out. She said that she had cancer. She said she had cancer, and look, I don't know, something in me is just saying something's really off with her. She could have had cancer, but I just don't believe anything she says, especially the way how she was reacting when she was at the clinic. But she tells him about it, and that today's a checkup, and normally when it's good news, they tell you with the phone. He says, I'll go there with you. I have your back. He leans in. She's really comfortable. I'm looking at him like, you better not. He tells the receptionist, I'll be out with Miss Cross. Let's hold my call. Lady Mae, get your man. Lady Mae, get your man. Now we see Jacob. He's talking to the mayor. Remember the mayor that he yoked up because the mayor was trying to act like, well, maybe I'll just give Mac a side job. And he was like, you ain't giving them ish. You're not doing that. So now the mayor's there because his spiritual counsel was supposed to be Skanks. Now that Skanks is gone, Jacob has to be there to pick up the slack. And that's great. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, but you have to give a little and get a little. The mayor isn't doing this. I mean, he's running for mayor or whatever. And he just needs the support of the church. And they're going to work out a deal where some funding can be handled so that the church could benefit, but we're not going to get into that right now. We already know there's something shaky and shifty about that. Cherry's talking to her mother, and it's just too much because Cherry's trying to figure out, like, Ma, why can't I go? Why are you telling me? I'm looking at Cherry like, why are you asking your mother for permission to go? So that's the thing. When your income comes from your family, you're still 100% attached to them, and you live under your parents' roof at whatever age she is. Let's say 30-something. Because of all of that, she doesn't have any real independence. So she still has to go and somehow ask her mother, oh, can I go on tour? How does that make any sense? So then we're at the clinic, and Rochelle, she goes to get checked up, and she's holding Bishop's hand. I'm looking at this like, this is inappropriate. You two need to stop. Lady Mae, tell Bishop what this woman was doing with her pastor. But I guess we're not doing that right now. Gigi's irritated because she's trying to figure out, Mom, why are you not allowing Cherry to go on tour? This doesn't even make sense. I'm saying yes, this doesn't. Lady Mae puts it out there. Look, aside, Kevin's gone, so that's a mess. Cherry plays a large part in the church. And most importantly, I don't want her to go running around up under some man. That's not what we're going to do today, so I'm over that. But aside from that, she also wanted to know, are you and Daddy okay? Because something's off. She said, no, but that's for me to figure out. You just stay over there, look pretty. I'll go and figure it out myself. So then she runs over to talk to her husband, and that's when the receptionist says, oh, he's out with Mrs. Cross. No, not Mrs. Miss Cross. Oh, what a world, what a world, what a world, what a world. But then, like I said before, it's not as concrete as you think. Because when we're back at the clinic and essentially Rochelle says, oh, you know, it was fine. It was just they spotted some usual cysts or whatever she said it was. But I'm looking at her like, she was like, oh yeah, it was nothing. You're afraid you had a cancer scare and you're not coming out like you're relieved. You're coming out like, oh yeah, I told him that this was a cancer checkup, didn't I? That's the vibe that I got from her. That is the vibe that I got from her. And then when they went to go and hug and embrace, and she was like, thank you for being there for me and supporting me, and Bishop is smelling her and he's holding her and he's rubbing her. Inappropriate. Where's the holy water? Inappropriate. That's all I was thinking. And Cherry's having more trouble because now she's talking to Jabari. Jabari's irritated. He's looking at this like, look, it's cool that you can be my girlfriend and all that, but here's how this works. Money still comes first. And I don't have the problems making accommodations for you, but I can't go and spend money on someone else like that to make all of this accomplished. Maybe you should just go and hold off on this tour and see if you can land the next one. And she said, no, I'm going to make this work. And that's what it's going to be. So then we get to one of the really important parts of this episode, which is Carissa versus Zora. So Carissa wants to go and talk to her daughter. Zora is wearing this sweatshirt because she has bruises on her arms and on her back. And it is true that some people do bruise easily, but we know Isaiah was really rough. And her material was very thin, what she was wearing at the rehearsal. But, so she's hiding all of that. Overall, Carissa's trying to figure out what's going on because Carissa's like, you know, even acting different. Something's been off. I'm not sure. Did Carissa talk to Jacob right before she went and talked to Zora? No, she didn't talk to Jacob yet. But Carissa found out that Zora, it's not that she's doing worse in her class, it's just that she's not participating. And since she's someone that's so outspoken, and when it comes to school, when it comes to everything, but I guess she was even like that in school and in class, so the fact that she's not doing that at all, it put up alarms for the teacher. And Zora's just like, you know what? I'm good, Mom. You say that I talk too much, so now I'm talking less. You say that I'm too extra, so now I'm just trying to be cool, mature. This is what it looks like. I'm fine. Carissa doesn't believe that, but she doesn't have anything else to go on. Gigi had a nice little romper with, not romper, but like romp in the sack with Darius. And Gigi just talked about how even though you can come over, but there's something off with my parents. I don't know what it is, but he said it's fine. I'm just my parents being a mess too. It's not a big deal. I'm thinking there's just something about him, or maybe it's just the relationship itself. Then we see Bishop with his do-rag on, his wave cap on, and they're getting ready for bed, and they're just having this conversation of, oh, so you were with Miss Cross. Yeah, and no, nothing. Nothing right now. Again, we already know that things are going to blow up. When Carissa finally talks to Jacob, she kind of lets it be known that things are just kind of off with Zora. Jacob saying maybe it's drugs. It's like, no, really? You sure? Well, I mean, for Jacob, I think he said when he was 14, he was smoking weed or doing something. So he made to go and check. Next thing we know, Carissa being, now I said, now this is parenting. This is what we were looking for. She goes into her room. She just starts opening stuff up, flinging stuff. She's opening everything. And I said, that's right. You check all of it. Your kids acting funny, you check on them. That's what you're supposed to do. So then she finally, Zora goes and puts the condom in. And I'm sure that was hurtful. Like, you had a condom in your pillowcase, little girl? Because you're doing what's what with who? Under whose roof? So then Zora comes and essentially is like, well, at least we're being, well, am I jumping ahead? Yeah, let me back up a little bit, because I want to go in sequential order. Charity talks to Bishop, and Bishop, he supports his daughter. And Charity's saying maybe we can get, Carlton back. Maybe we can get him back to head up music ministry. Bishop looked at this like, really? Yeah, but you're going to have to do it, because there's no way he would come back any other way. And what, you have a problem with him? No, I don't have a problem with him. It was just, Dad, if you really support me, get him. So, looks like Bishop's going to have to do what he needs to do for his little girl. And to make this a smooth transition for Lady Mae to just, let off the leash a little bit. Dang. So when Carissa's talking to Zora, Zora's making jokes about how at least she was being safe. True, but accidents do happen. So then Carissa was saying, because Zora was saying how she wasn't trying to be like her mother. Carissa said, you are you. I don't want you to be me, but I want you to be the best you that you can be. I want you to be a glowing example of, you are a smart, potentially poised, beautiful young woman. And she then compared herself and said, I made sure that your father waited. We did not have sex until we were married because I wanted him to respect me. Zora said, wait a minute. This is the same. So, Dad couldn't have respected you that much. As soon as that came out of her mouth, I said, you need to slap her. And she did, and I was proud. Zora wasn't ready for it. Remember, Zora's already in a abusive relationship, unfortunately. And so, I'm sure that slap sent shockwaves, because she actually fell back on the... I don't know how strong that slap was, but she fell right back onto that bed. And then Chris was just trying to tell her, look, I love you. I don't know if I'm going to tell your father or not. You know that boy isn't allowed to ever come back in here. And so we go back to Triumph, and that treasurer, she is just the worst. She's trying to nitpick at every little thing that Jacob's doing. I don't know if she's Team Skanks or if she just doesn't like how the church has been run, so now she's trying to take over. Who knows? But she's going to be a problem. She will be a problem. Excuse me. Jacob says, don't worry about me funding my homeless initiative, because the soon-be mayor told him, look, you can't really talk about the homosexual stuff. Let that come later after you get these people's money. Right now, we need to secure the bag. So in order to secure the bag, this is what we have to do. Unfortunately, that happens all the time, where you have to go and it's not compromising your morals, but putting your true feelings on the back end so that you can get your main goal accomplished to fix everything else. Just like with, even if you have a dream, you still need to have a day job to pay for your everyday bills. It's the same thing, at least to me. But I appreciate the fact that Jacob said, look, I have the financials covered. So everyone says aye, overwhelming majority. It was only her and her constituents that didn't raise their hand. And so that was that. Now we're getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere to the foolishness. Because, listen to this.
And like everything else in your family, it's not a conversation.
So that's the thing. we're seeing the breakdown of Bishop and Lady Mae's relationship. This whole thing of Miss Cross being there, it's an issue. It's a huge issue. And Bishop doesn't care because he's getting the attention and affection from her. Bishop clearly has been down this road before, and something's off with Mae. He knows what it is, but he didn't say it as of yet. So he also has that in the back of his mind. While that's all happening, that's all in preparation of this double dinner date that they have at the house, because Darius comes, Zora's there, and he brings flowers for, of course, Lady Mae, because he already knows how she is. And so I said, smart move. He also gave Zora a little something. It was probably like an iTunes card or something. But then Sophia, sorry guys. Sophia gives him essentially like an iPod with gospel music and contemporary. And I said, oh, well, okay. All right. I already told you the issue with Jacob and the soon-to-be mayor. Now, we find out that Darius, during the dinner date, his parents, of course, they did go to church. They went to a Presbyterian one, and Lady Mae said, oh, I said, Lady Mae, did they not believe in the Lord? Okay then, done deal. That's it. Don't do that. So then Lady Mae, her feelings got hurt because when Darius was talking about how, unfortunately, his parents, essentially, it was one of those things where, if someone has such a close bond, if one person dies, the other one dies. That's what happened with them. And Bishop said, wow, that's beautiful to be in such a loving, committed relationship where you really can't live without the other one. That's beautiful. Lady Mae is smiling like, And then Bishop said, wow, I've never known what that's like. I said, whoa! And we're doing this in front of nope, he can go. Dinner over. And Sophia said, nope, dinner over. That was it. That was the end of the scene. Because then we see Darius saying, you know what? I'm fine with the parents fighting. It was like good old days. But there's something going on with your parents. You better go and get that in check soon. I knew that there was something off with this whole Tasha's skanks thing. And she gets a call from her dude. Mind you, he went and left because he didn't want to go and face the music. He's telling his wife, look, I got a plan, baby. I'm not coming. But it was weird. He essentially made it sound like I'm not coming back, but I have a plan to ruin the Greenleaf's lives. So I don't know what he's going to do. What I do know is that he said, give them hell. Make them pay. And she said, I will. And that's what made me realize, okay, that's the thing with Tasha. It's not that she's just some evil, manipulative person. She has the potential to be, and that's what I was seeing in her because of who she's attached to. Because her husband is doing X, Y, and Z, now she's going to pick up the habits and start it off at 1, 2, 3. That's just how she is. That's how it's going to go. That's how she'll roll. And, oh, dang it, Tasha. Dang it. But I'm interested to see how it goes. Oh, so when Alex is talking to because Alex, who the heck is, no, I want to call her Alex Cross. I don't know why. Rochelle Cross, she brings in, it looks like they're bringing in someone to help with Mary Soul's husband's immigration issue. He essentially came here legally from Honduras, and he got a fake social security number so that he could go and apply for his manager job or head chef job. And he's been paying taxes and doing all of that, but he was afraid to go to the hospital, and he almost died because he didn't want to go and for them to figure everything out, and then he get deported. So they're going to see what they can do. And essentially he was like, well, it's a long process, it costs a lot. And Bishop said, money's no issue. And Miss Cross said, yep, and I got him covered too, so we're all good. Gigi's looking at this like, what the heck? Something ain't right about this. She probably wanted to be like, Mama, come over here. Daddy has them wandering eyes, and we need to stop him right now. We need to stop him right now. But that doesn't happen. What happens instead is Bishop, he goes over to Carlton's, and he convinces Carlton to come back to the church. Carlton wasn't having it because he figured, I'm not going to go somewhere where I'm just tolerated. I want to go somewhere where I'm embraced and celebrated. And Bishop said, unfortunately, here's how this works. You want me to be the voice of change in the church? And yes, to a certain degree, that would be the case. But my words are not strong enough, unfortunately, to move the people to change their minds and viewpoints. It's not. I'm more so there to tell them, reinforce things that they believe or could hope about. You need to be there in person, working, making a difference in that church, in the community, and those people will eventually see you for who you are and for not what they think of you due to your sexual orientation. He didn't say it like that. I said it like that. So I said, okay. And when it puts him that way, Carlton said, all right, I'll come back. So then we have some interesting lip singing. I said, said, why is it always off? And did you see at one point when Tasha's mic was just down and like she almost forgot that the song was still going? Like, oh, and look, I still stuck on won't he do it? He said he would. That's where my mind is right now. What would it say? Like shouting. Wait, let me stop. Because that's how they were doing it. Yeah. I need to stop. What is... Oh! Well, it makes you feel good. It does. Just do it. Woo! Just do it. Now, as you know, they love Sister Skank's voice. They love that shouting. Jacob goes and he starts talking, and essentially he brings up the mayor, and then he talks about the mayor donating $75,000, and the church is like, yes, amen, hallelujah. The soon to be mayor was looking at him like, who said that? Who said that? No, who said that? Who said that? Me? And so Jacob didn't say anything about, gay or homosexual stuff. So he kept true to at least his goal of bringing in the money. I said, okay, it starts there. Give people an inch and they'll take a mile. Watch. That's the only issue. That's the actual issue. But then we finally get the breakdown. Bishop said, now listen here. He put it out there. So you and Lionel, you were a thing, weren't you? Lady Mae was like, what? You slept with Lionel. And she said, excuse me. Don't you dare come at me like that. At the end of the day, you slept with my sister first. He said, oh, it doesn't matter. I slept with your sister once, and I told you about it right afterwards. So that's Mavis, obviously. So that does confirm what we thought, which was that they had a relationship. We just didn't know if it was during or before Lady Mae and Bishop started theirs. So clearly it was during. And Bishop was lying. I knew then that he was lying about, oh, I did that just once, and that was it. I said, oh, you a liar. Oh, you a liar. But let's continue. And he was saying, how dare you go and do something like that? So you go and smile in my face and have my friends smile in my face. Y'all looking, y'all looking down on me, laughing, holding this secret in for all these years. Why didn't you tell me? And she's like, why? Because of this. I didn't want to, mess all this up. I worked so hard, tooth and nail, to keep all of this together, to have all of this, and to do it with you. It wasn't perfect, but I wanted to go through the struggle with you. And then she said, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go and leave you're going to leave all of this? You're going to leave all of this? For what? And he said, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do. I said, uh-oh, Lady Mae. Now, when he was trying to get that tear out, I said, it's not happening, Bishop. Go. Just go. And Lady Mae, her eyes were a little misty, so shout out to her. Jacob, he learns from Tasha that she moved out of her office and that she said the only reason why she's still on is to help him out. I said, okay, you're still there to sabotage. Got it. We got the marching orders from your husband. Got it. And they had this weird moment where I looked at this like, oh my God, is Tasha going to try and put the moves on Jacob? Because Jacob had that look of, oh my gosh, I so appreciate you. I appreciate you immensely. Immensely. I don't know. Let me know. Like, shout it. Oh yeah, the season finale is next week. I'm kind of happy about that because this show is good though.